Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today is October 26, 2024. This is the daily read for the collective. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you're located. As far as the date is right, hopefully this will be helpful for you. Two of Cups energy is about partnerships, about harmony, equality among two different people. So the energy that supports us to improve our lives today is to be cooperative, to be to be agreeable with the other person in our lives. This is not necessarily limited to just one person. Uh, it can be multiple relationships um, that can strike a balance and also to strike an agreement today. Um, so for some of you, it might be a little bit stressful if you are always an independent person because you might not be accustomed to partnerships and also collaborations, cooperations. But in order to live an abundant life, we have to realize the fact that everything changes every day and every minute, every second. There are tons of changes that are happening in this world, even within ourselves. And this is the key to live a full life, which means if we always avoid partnerships, we can miss a lot of things in our lives. Some of us might feel like, okay, if we partner up with someone, then we're gonna lose our identity. Uh, which I really feel you, because I am also an independent person. I don't like to collaborate with the others. I don't necessarily like partnerships because I see a lot of dysfunctions among partnerships and relationships. However, um, I also realize the fact that sometimes in our lives, uh, if we partner up with the other person, the other party, we can get things done easier, and we don't need to waste that much time to fight against a situation by ourselves. And while we are collaborating and gaining some kind of benefits in the partnerships, the other person is also gaining benefits. So it's not a one-way thing. Um, even though some people might think and they might analyze the fact that if if they partner up with someone, that they're gonna lose money or lose something. This is actually tunnel vision. Maybe on a material level, is not. Um, it doesn't bring the prosperity that a person is expecting. However, on a spiritual level, um, they are still gaining a lot of insights. So it really depends on how you see growth. Is it just material? Is it just spiritual? Is it both? Or it depends on when it happens. So, um, yeah, so today is a day that partnerships can be a spotlight. Um, and it's also possible that there are situations where some kind of partnerships have to be reevaluated in this time, um, especially because the planet Pluto is actually wrapping up in the sign of Capricorn. So um, I believe that there are certain relationships and partnerships that are reaching a culmination. Um, and I would say because of this month's energy, I would suggest everyone to be try to find a common ground with the others, because we all have things that are happening and it's not easy to deal with. And some of us might lose some patience in this process, especially this month. Uh, there's also a Mars Pluto aspect, so which means this month people can get easier to be angry and just more sensitive than usual. Um, and under these circumstances and climate is it's not that easy to be cooperative, to be collaborative. um, so perhaps this is the reason why the tarot is giving this card for us, is to remember the art of collaboration, partnership, collaboration, and also the equality, the common ground among all of us. Because we might forget, we might feel like, hey, we can do everything by ourselves. But yeah, I believe some of us, we can always do things by ourselves, but it depends on the timing. Sometimes it might be better to partner up, sometimes it's better to do solo. Um, Today's also a day to, as I mentioned earlier, to evaluate our partnerships and see if there are any things that can be cultivated further, or are there any things that are no longer valid and no longer beneficial for each other. Maybe something is sort of one-sided. You know, a re-evaluation is required for such circumstances. Two of Cups is also a reminder to us that we have to understand and accept the fact that um, we respond, a lot of times we respond towards how the others treat us. And sometimes we can feel puzzled by how the others treat us. But the fact is, the other person, they might treat us the certain way because they feel like we treated them in a certain way. Even though we might be intentionally, we might be not aware of the fact that we hurt the other person. But when the other person feels hurt, then that's a hurt. Um, that's why common ground can be very tricky, because according to different people's standard, there are different levels of common ground. So maybe they feel like this is their common ground, but for you, you might feel like, hey, this is not my common ground. How would you think that? So this is the time when each other has to realize the fact that we all have different perspectives about things, and we really have to discuss and be aware of how the others uh, came along, where they are coming from, how they grew up as a human being. All those kind of factors have to be considered in order to strike a common ground, because if we don't learn about each other, we will never understand how to respect the other person's perspective and the other person's um, standard. So I would say today is a day of learning to be partner up with the others, and also learn to improve our relationships with the others, where we both feel like we are on, we are equal. Even though I don't I don't think certain things can be equal among people, because there are always inequalities. Um, but still, if we are aiming to reach an agreement and understanding that both sides or multiple sides can feel their concerns are being respected, probably partially but not entirely, because if the relationship involves a lot of people at once, maybe a work relationship, maybe, I don't know, whatever relationships that are happening right now, um, we might partially agree with something, but as far as we can agree with each other partially, we can still, you know, get the wheel moving. We can still move on from the stagnation. So I hope this read is helpful for you, and I appreciate your time and participation. And I'll talk to you next time. Have a great day. Bye bye.